Okay, we're in chapter 10, and section 10.1 is on adding and subtracting polynomials. A polynomial is a collection of terms being separated by an addition and subtraction symbols. And so 2x cubed plus 5x squared minus 4x plus 7 is a polynomial written in standard form. That means it's in descending order. The largest degree term is listed first, and then the constant is listed last. So 2 is the leading coefficient of the cubic term. 3 is the degree of that first term. And again, the 7 is what we call the constant. So this is a polynomial in descending order. Vocabulary words: monomial, binomial, trinomial. A monomial is a one-term polynomial. A binomial is a two-term polynomial, and a trinomial is a three-term polynomial. In each of these cases, the degree of the monomial here is 0 because it doesn't have an exponent. The degree of the binomial is 1 because the x is to the first power. It's not written there, but it's understood. And then in the trinomial, we have x to the fifth. 5 is the degree of that trinomial. Now, when we add and subtract polynomials, we add what we call like terms. Like terms have the same base and the same exponent. So when I start to add the first polynomial with everything else, I'm going to look for all of the cubic terms and add them together. So I have negative 8 x to the third, and I have negative 3 x to the third. Those will be added together. I will also add the squared terms. So I'm boxing these squared terms. I'm going to add all of them together. I'm going to have negative 9 plus 8 plus 4. I think that's plus 3. And then I'm going to add all of the linear terms together. I've got 2 of them. I've got a plus x and a minus 2x. That's going to end up being a minus 1x. And then I'll be left with all of the constants, the 2, the 4, and the negative 1. And I'm going to add those. So all the cubic terms add up to negative 11. All the quadratic terms or the squared terms add up to positive 3. All the linear terms add up to negative 1. And the constants add up to positive 5. We can subtract polynomials just as easy as we can add them, although the subtraction problems, there are a lot more mistakes made because that negative out in front of the parentheses has to be distributed to all 3 of the terms inside of the parentheses. And so when you do that, when you distribute it, that negative 8x squared in the parentheses turns positive because a negative times a negative is a positive. The negative 3x turns into a positive because a negative times a negative is a positive. And the positive 4 turns into a negative because a negative times a positive is a negative. Once we have distributed the negative sign through the parentheses, then we're just going to add the polynomial just like we did in the previous example. So I'm going to go ahead and add up the quadratic terms. In this case, I've got a negative 8x and a positive 8x squared, negative 8x squared, positive 8x squared. Those are going to cancel out to nothing. I'm going to add up the linear terms. I've got a positive 12x and a positive 3x. That's going to make 15x. And then I add up the positive 6 and the negative 4. So I end up with 15x plus 2.